How's it going, team? My name is Julian with the Academy of Thought, and today I'm going to go over a few terms that I have heard and that are commonly used when talking about stocks in the stock market. You'll see this mosquito bite right on my forehead. All right, so the first couple terms that may be used or you may have heard are bulls and bears. Basically, a bull or a bull market means that there are more buyers. So if you're a bull, you're expecting the price to go up, or if you're a bull, you're a buyer. And if you're a bear, you're a seller. So you're expecting the price to go down. So if you have ever heard we're in a bull market or we're in a bear market, a bull market would be that the prices of stocks are continuing to rise, and a bear market means that there are more sellers than there are buyers, and the prices of stocks are going to drop. The way I remember it, the best way I remember it is bulls charge forward and bears hibernate. So there are different ways to remember it, but personally, that's just how I remember it. Bulls charge forward, they go up, stocks go up. Bears hibernate, go to sleep, they go down. And then there's also long or short. So going long means you're investing in the stock to go up. And then going short means shorting is a different way of trading. It's basically you borrow the shares from a broker and sell them to the open market, and now you owe those shares to your broker. And you have to buy the shares at a later price and then give them back to the broker. So the idea with going short is you borrow them from your broker, you sell them to the open market, and then you're expecting the price of that stock to go down. And once it goes down, you buy them back. Once you buy them back, you can give them back to your broker. Essentially, you're selling them for a higher price and then buying them back for a lower price and giving them back to your broker, and you make the difference. Personally, with my strategy, I just go long and I don't focus on going short. Eventually, I can see myself going short, but right now I'm trying to stick to one strategy and master one way. So all my positions are long as of right now. Another term is market cap. So market cap is the shares outstanding, which means the shares that are out on the open market times the price of the stock. So if you have a stock that is traded at $1 a share and there's 1 million shares, that means that the market cap of that company is $1 million. Excuse me, I'm gonna grab some water. Another term is float. So whenever you hear float, it just means how many shares are being actively traded on the open market or are available to be traded. So float matters because a stock with an extremely high float will fluctuate less in price, or it will fluctuate much slower in price. It will have less volatility. Volatility. Volatility is the swings of a price. So if a stock is extremely volatile, it means that the price will swing a lot, 10, 20, 30, even 100% within the day or within even a few minutes. And then a low volatility stock means the price doesn't fluctuate as fast. And then float and volatility, I think, go hand in hand. If a stock is a very low float, meaning that there's not a lot of shares to be bought, then the price will fluctuate very quickly. And it can fluctuate by huge margins. It can go up 50% in a matter of minutes and drop 50% in a matter of minutes. I personally don't trade low float stocks because I think they are riskier, and the moves are, in my opinion, less predictable. Another thing is volume. I might have already mentioned this, but volume is the amount of shares that is traded per day. So my personal strategy and criteria is to have stocks that are trading at least 1 million shares a day. That means how many times and how many shares are switching hands. The reason this is important is because you want a stock that is actively traded by a lot of people. And the reason for this is because you want to be able to get in and out of the stock quickly without any issues. If you're trading a stock with very low volume, let's say it has 10,000 shares traded per day, and you take a 1,000 share position, that means that you have 1/10 of the shares traded on that day. And if you try to sell, because there's not a lot of volume, there may not be the buyers for it because not as many people are looking at it and trading it. So I personally trade stocks with a much higher volume. And another thing I came across, a term, is bag holding. You never want to be a bag holder. Bag holder is basically when you're holding a stock as it's going down and you continue to hold and do not stick to your plan, and you hold in the hopes that it goes back up. Bag holding will destroy people's accounts because they're not sticking to their plan. Bag holding is one of the worst things you can do. Personally, I've done it and it's terrible, and I would say just learn from other people and learn from my mistakes. Do not bag hold ever. Stick to your plan. The reason why I'm making this video and explaining these terms is because I think it's better for you to learn via writing. So if you're listening, you're able to write these down and you can learn. I was thinking about putting together a document, but I don't think that that's the best way to learn. So I think that it would be best if you watch this video and write these down. If you have to go back, but make sure you write these down and understand what these words mean, and understand the bulls, the bears, long and short. Those are important. Market cap is going to come into play. I trade stocks with a higher market cap usually because stocks with a very low market cap are more likely to be pumped. Pump and dumps, that's another one. What is a pump and dump? A pump and dump is where a stock that is a low float or a low market cap is pumped very high because of hype or some bullshit reason, when the stock should not be valued at the price that it gets pumped to. Usually what happens is there will be big traders or people with big followings who will buy a stock, some cheap company that nobody knows about. They'll buy their shares, hold on to their shares, and then they will pump the stock by releasing a newsletter, releasing emails, and then because they have so many followers, a lot of people will start buying the stock, and they currently own the stock. Then all these people buy it, the price goes up, and then they dump them. So they're pumping their stock that they already own, and then they dump them so that they make money and everybody else loses. I would completely avoid pump and dumps, but I'll get into those later. So just make sure you go over these terms and try to remember them, study them so that if they ever come up in the future, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you guys.